understandably, he's only been in that position for 2 months, I think.
What's your impressions? Why would they send somebody who's been in the position for just a couple of months?
That's what we asked.
What is your take on that?
I don't know. Him and Cray, now Cray I have a different opinion of, but the gentleman there from the EPA, I felt he took a lot of unjust blame. They were talking to him about things the EPA hasn't done for 25 years. And don't get me wrong, I understand the outrage. I'm just as outraged as the next guy. But some of the things they were asking him about, like why haven't you solidified the LCR in the last 25 years? I don't know how he can speak to that. And yet, other times, he claimed no knowledge example for Miguel Del Toral, whether he had been punished or not, even though he went on to say, well, of course he had reviewed Hedman's files. So there was, some of the questions weren't fair because he's new. Some of them he should have had the answers to. If you're coming in mid-crisis, I would think the first thing you would do would be study up on your crisis.
Why, in your opinion, why wasn't Miguel Del Toro at the hearing? He was invited.
He was.
And then after some posturing, some discussions behind closed doors, it was decided he doesn't have to be here. In your opinion, why wasn't he there?
I think really a lot of the reason why he wasn't there is because he was here in Flint. And he's going to do much more here and get more benefit out of his skills. Because truly, that and the backdoor discussions, Miguel had done everything right. He's the only one that can.
Well, we know that he is one of the heroes. We know that there are a handful of heroes, but really, if it was that he was needed so desperately in Flint, he could have gotten a plane. He could have gotten a plane. He would have been in D.C. in 45 minutes. He could do testimony. He'd be back. He'd be back in time for lunch. I mean, he would put in half a day.
Right, and I don't know if they're still hushing him or trying. I don't know.
You think they're hushing him? I mean, he made this deputy director made it a point that he's talked to the media twice for like 5 minutes each. You know.
Yeah.
So he's talking to the media, but he's not talking to a lot of media. Only a certain handful. And he was scheduled to be there, and then I mean, everybody's busy, and we're sure that he's busy, but I mean, he is one of the heroes that we want to see.
But
he deserves a parade.
Yes, he does.
This would have been an opportunity for the world to hear his story directly from him.
But if you take that on the flip side, and I guess that's how I look at it. Yes, he deserves a parade, no doubt. Yes, he's a huge hero. But he kind of makes everybody else look real bad. So if you're trying to cover your organization, maybe leave the one really good guy at home.
He's the only guy with the white hat at the EPA.
Yes, he is.
Because he didn't follow procedure. He went outside the box. He went rogue. He, was handled.
Yeah, all of that and so much more. And yet, I think, too, maybe if Miguel had gone and testified, and I'm looking at this from the point of the EPA, and it's only my guess, he's not helping them look any better. So we'll send somebody in that can say, basically, I don't really know. And that's better than having somebody go, no, this is what happened. And I caught the great irritation from Mark Edwards when he was flat out asked. The EPA was asked, had Del Toral been suffered any retribution? EPA says, oh, no, I haven't heard of any. And Mark's like, yeah, he did. So I think there's still some cover up going on, in my opinion. And
well, we know that there was cover up in the Washington D.C.
Yep.
lead water issue where there were 5 whistleblowers. They all lost their job.
Yep.
And the EPA is kind of mum on that. They won't talk about it. It happened.
That's a shame.
They roll. I mean, it's amazing that this oversight committee really has no power over these agencies. All they can do is scold them and threaten to turn off their funding.
Yeah.
And with that, and that's it. The agencies can, for you, 9 years. 9 years. That's kind of a long time. It's supposed to be 21 days, and it's 9 years. I mean, this is something that Mark Edwards brought up, and the chairman of the committee goes, "You think you could get him his requests?"
Yeah.
And of course, this new deputy director says, "It will be a high priority when I get back to the office."
Yeah, right.
It's like he had that programmed into him.
Yeah. He said a lot of, it's our priority. I mean, a lot of what he said, I don't know. In some ways, I think it just was plausible deniability. Send in the guy that's only been there a couple months. He doesn't really have to answer too much because he hasn't really been, you know what I mean? It's
absolutely. This is a tactic that the agencies use all the time. It's not anything new.